worst experience in my life. That was the most traumatizing thing that ever happened to me in my life. And sometimes it makes me emotional just because knowing I have to have another baby. I love my kids, don't get me wrong. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me get myself together. Hello, my loves. So I am back with another video for you guys. In my last video, I stated that I'll be talking about my C-section story, what happened with my last pregnancy. Um, so I'm gonna make this quick. Next time I do a video, I'm definitely gonna put down notes so I won't miss anything or whatever. But like I say, my last pregnancy, I had to have a C-section. It was not a planned C-section. Okay, I decided that hold on, let me turn my camera. I stay doing this. Okay, sorry about that. So I had decided to get induced. Um, the last time I had got induced was with my very first child. All my other ones, which was I had two after my first one, they came on their own with no problem and everything like that. But with my fourth baby, I decided to get induced because, and this is the reason. One, my husband was working at the time. I didn't want it to be an unexpected thing. He was like, he wasn't that worried. He'll get off regardless. But I didn't want to be an unexpected thing, and they wasn't going to be able to let him off. Like I said, he had just started working. We were in a bind, and we definitely wanted to. I definitely wanted him to be able to keep the job, and he did too. But anywho, so that was one of the reasons why I chose to get induced. The other reason was because my mom, she was leaving to go out of town soon, and I really needed her to be here when I had the baby because we don't have too much help. So if he was working, and he was working overnight at the time, and we only really had my mom to be able to get the baby for the kids for us at that time, which at that time I had three. you know um my oldest, he would go to my husband mom's house or whatever. But I was still having to work on everybody's schedule. Like, it was like a schedule that I had to definitely work on with everybody that was helping, and it was kind of hard, and I didn't want to put anybody in a bind. So, and I didn't expect it to go how it went. When I went to my appointment, when it was close, I can't remember how many weeks I was or whatever, but when I went to my appointment, before the appointment, when I had decided that I had wanted to get induced, he had told me that the baby was turned. Okay, we didn't get an ultrasound. He didn't do an ultrasound to tell that the baby was turned. He just made it like he just knew that the baby was turned. So I went by you know, his word that the baby was turned. Okay, so when I went in to get induced and everything, it was on a Sunday night. I had to be there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, at 10. We're a little late because we were cleaning the house, making sure the kids were set for my mom so she wouldn't have a hard time with finding things in the house for them. Things parents do. We just want to make sure they were comfortable, she was comfortable, and everything. So once we went in, they got me set up. Hold on. Sorry about that. That was my youngest one coming. Well, not my youngest, my second to the youngest. But anywho, so we went in. They got everything situated with me, got me hooked up with the IV and all those things. Just things they do to get everything ready for labor and delivery or whatever. So once they got everything set up, they did check me. When the first time the lady checked me or whatever, She was like, she wasn't feeling it, like the head or anything like that, you know. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just, going to be a little process or whatever. They already had started giving me meds and stuff like that. I was dilating a little bit, but not too much or whatever. And so I would say 30 minutes to an hour later, the nurse came back. She tried to check me again. She still wasn't feeling the head or anything like that. She came like at least 4 times in all and wasn't feeling the head. But the third time she came and she wasn't feeling the head, I was like, okay, well, one of the nurses was like, well, maybe we should do an ultrasound. So they got the ultrasound machine, and the lady checked me. She was like, oh, okay, I feel something or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking it's the head or whatever. So they didn't do the ultrasound. Then when they came back, she tried to feel again, and she was like, okay, she was steady going further up. And I'm like, hey, I'm thinking in my head, this is my fourth pregnancy. I know good and well you don't have to go that far up if the baby is already turned in position and ready to be delivered. So as she went further, I'm like, okay, something not right. I don't think the baby turned. I think we should do an ultrasound. So once I requested, like, okay, now we should do an ultrasound. Y'all didn't check me like 6 times. You're not feeling the head or anything. There's no way that the baby could be possibly in position if you're not feeling the head and you're this far in me or whatever. So they did the ultrasound. Come to find out, when they did the ultrasound, the baby wasn't even turned in position. Okay, she was not turned in position at all. She was literally like side to side. She wasn't like up down. She wasn't breached or nothing. Like, she was like side to side. So now in my head, I'm like, she wasn't even ready. Like, I'm thinking like she was a little bit ready, so let's do the induction. But she wasn't even ready because she wasn't even turned, period. And I know some people might be like, well, they turn back around and stuff like that. This was the same exact week. I just had a feeling in my heart that she didn't turn around. She just wasn't turned. And he didn't know for sure, but he just assumed she was turned. I don't know. But keep in mind, I had already had meds. I had already had, if I'm not mistaken, I had already had the epidural and everything. And my baby was not even turned. Okay? If I knew that, I would have waited. I definitely would have waited regardless. I don't care. I would have waited. But I already had the meds, and I don't know if you can, like, since I already had the epidural, if I can just go home and just, like, not worry about it or whatever. I don't know. But and like the medicine would just wear off. I don't know how that would have went if I would have went home, or what complications I would have had from that. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I'm kind of talking kind of fast, y'all. Excuse me, because I don't have that much memory on my phone, so I'm trying to get everything in this clip as fast as I can. But anywho, so after that, I've watched a lot of stuff, so I said, okay, let's try to turn her. Okay, because you can get your baby turned. You can get your baby turned into the position it needs to be turned. So he's trying to turn. One minute he's turning on the ultrasound machine and looking how the baby's turned. Then he turned it off and try to turn her. Then he turned the machine back on. Which I don't even know why he did that, because I feel like one of the nurses should have helped him and kept the ultrasound machine on as he turned, so they can know exactly how they're turning her, if she's turning correctly, if she's hooked on anything, like the umbilical cord or anything. No, it was like on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off with the machine, which I thought was crazy. So all of a sudden, they got her. He tried to turn her. Okay, at this point, she was like this. So he tried to turn her like this to get her head down here at the bottom and her feet at the top to be able to get her in birthing position. Okay, so she wouldn't turn that way. She kept like turning back every time. So I asked him, I said, well, can we try the other way? He said, yes, we can try the other way or whatever. So after that, he tried the other way, and she did turn. She got all the way into birthing position, and he was like, "Okay, you're gonna have to be ready to push once I get her in that birthing position." I'm like, "Okay." So in my head, I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready for this. I'm ready. I don't have to have a C-section or whatever." All of a sudden, they shut the machine off, and all I know is he was like, "We gotta rush you to this. We gotta rush you to have a C-section. We gotta rush you to have a C-section or whatever." They literally taking my stuff off the machines, wheeling the bed out, like all of a sudden, like, and I'm like, "What's going on? What's going on?" He was like, "You have to have you have to have an emergency C-section because she has her thumb. She had her thumb in the umbilical cord, and she was going to pull it." Like, it was like the umbilical cord was like this. So he made it like, okay, if he turned her any more like this way, she was going to pull it, which didn't make sense to me if he got her in that position. You get what I'm saying? And I just analyzed this more and more. um After everything happened, like, I still analyze the situation, you know what I'm saying? Because that was really a scary moment for me. Like, it really, really was. And to not know what was going on. And some people don't understand, like, everybody's C-section is different, you know what I'm saying? When I had my emergency C-section, it was like stuff was getting pulled, the bed was getting reeled out. This was my first time ever having surgery in my entire life. Okay, then my husband couldn't even be back there with me. It was only me and him at the hospital. They didn't let him go back there with me. Literally, as the people are putting me in the room, everybody is everywhere. People are moving fast. Before I know it, I'm getting a shield covered over in front of my face or whatever. I slowly, before you know it, I feel this at the bottom of my stomach, and I literally felt my skin detached from each other. The medicine didn't even get time to kick all the way in. Do you understand me? The medicine didn't even get fully in my body. I'm telling them I taste lead, because I know when they say when they're given certain medicine, I can't remember if it's the Epidural or something through the IV, they ask if you taste lead in your mouth, let them know. So I'm steady telling the nurse that's beside me, I'm tasting lead in my mouth. Like, I'm tasting this stuff in my mouth because I'm getting scared. I'm thinking something's happening because I know I don't supposed to taste this stuff in my mouth. So I'm tasting this in my mouth. Before you know it, I'm literally dozing off. I'm seeing stuff like, it was just crazy. I don't know if you guys watched the Doctor Strange movie, and I said this in the middle of them, the medicine kicking in. I was like, I should never watch that Doctor Strange movie. And I know some people might see it as being funny, but it was a part of the movie, in the Doctor Strange movie, where he was going through different dimensions and stuff like that. That's how I felt. I felt exactly like that with that medicine kicking in. Like, it was the worst and terrible and most scary feeling ever. I never felt. I didn't been in a bad car accident. I didn't had different stuff happen, but this was the worst experience in my life. That was the most traumatizing thing that ever happened to me in my life. And sometimes it makes me emotional, just because knowing I have to have another baby. I love my kids, don't get me wrong. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me get myself together. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. It still triggers something in me sometimes. Like I said, because I have to have another baby, and I just don't want it to be like a surprise type thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to get copyright or anything for music. My babies was watching something on YouTube. But anywho, but I think I still get emotional about it because I don't want to have to go through it again. I've been doing a lot of studying, researching on different things, different positions to be able to have my baby. Another thing I'm not doing this time is getting induced. I'm not getting induced. I'm going to wait till my baby come on its own. And I say on its own because I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Me and my husband decided this time to wait and see the gender at the birth. I always wanted to do it, but just never done it. I always was very excited. And with me already having 2 boys and 2 girls, I'm like, hey, might as well do it now. And I only wanted 5 kids, so might as well do it now. Crazy thing about that, everybody in my family, friends, they all know I've always wanted 5 kids, and I had always had a talk with God, and I was like, I definitely want 5 kids before I turn 30. I'll be 29 this year, so I guess He was like, hey, if you don't have this baby now, I don't know when you're gonna want to have it, so I gotta go ahead and give you the baby. So anywho, but that was very traumatizing for me. It was like still dealing with certain things like the cut and all that, and being pregnant again. It's just like really really scary, like it is. And then once I got out the hospital, people that had C-sections and stuff like that, they like, oh yeah, like, oh, this is normal and da 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 and all that stuff. Like, I don't know about them, but that stuff is still not normal to me. Like, nobody, I'm gonna be honest, like, nobody was like, okay, how were you? How was your experience? Like, everybody made it like it was just a planned C-section. It wasn't planned. Like, I didn't know I was finna get my stomach ripped apart and all that stuff. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I did not know that. So it was like even more emotional to knowing that, like, I don't know. It was just a lot, you know. And the caring that you expect from people, you don't always get, you know. But thank God for my husband. I thank God for my husband, man. I'm telling y'all, because he was so caring, and he seen everything. They let him look in the mirror, so he seen me get cut. He was even emotional because he couldn't even be there beside me, so he's scared. You know what I'm saying? So that was a whole different trauma for him. Like, he still talks about it to this day. You know, he don't even be wanting me to go to my appointments by myself anymore, just because, you know, he want to make sure he knows about every single detailed thing. You know what I'm saying? And I respect it, like I really do, because at the end of the day, like, we have certain help from our mothers, but at the end of the day, we just have us. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I know it is scary for him, you know, but like I said, I'm not getting induced with this one at all. I'm gonna take my time. I found different positions. I found different things to eat and drink, like raspberry leaf tea. They say that's good for you to help with labor and delivery. Pineapples. They say dates is good to help with labor and delivery. Certain positions. I got one of those big exercise balls that I use. All this stuff I did not do with any of my other pregnancies. But I'm making sure I do them with this one because I don't want any complications. I don't want to have another C-section. My doctor claimed I won't have to have another C-section. He claims that I should be able to push the baby out even after having a C-section. And I know some people be like, well, I never heard that. Yes, that's true. I've known that before I even had a C-section. I used to tell women all the time that had C-sections that you don't have to keep getting a C-section. I mean, you just don't, unless it's something like you're high risk or something like that. But you don't have to keep getting C-sections. Like, you can literally try to have a way to where you can be able to push your baby out vaginally after having a C-section. I've been heard that from plenty of doctors that have been doctors for years, and I didn't heard women speak on it that actually did it. Okay. So I already knew I can be able to do it even before he told me I can do it. The only thing I was scared was I had just had a baby, and then after 6 months I got pregnant again. So that was my only concern, like with it being so close, you know what I'm saying? But I have faith that everything is going to go good. I don't even put that thought in my head that something's going to go bad at all, you know what I'm saying? So I know everything's going to go good, you know. um but that is my story, you know what I'm saying? I definitely want you ladies to comment below if you had a C-section. How was your experience? How did it go? How did you feel afterwards? Did you have help with things? You know what I'm saying? Because it was really hard for me after I had that C-section. I was vaginal and having a C-section is two different ways, two different things. See, after I had a vaginal birth, I was like up the next day, moving around, doing stuff on my own. I'm a very independent person. Like, even with my husband help, like, he has to tell me, like, I don't mind doing it for you. Like, he always had to tell me that, and I still be. Hey, I was raised by a single mother. Okay, she did a lot by herself, you know. So it's just embedded in me. I have to tone it down sometimes, though, you know. But hey, but That's one thing about it. You have to have the help. Like you do. Like you can't. Sometimes you can't get out the bed by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like your body probably still aching. Like I don't like taking medicine, but I had to take the pain medicine because I was being so much pain. But I still would like take a certain amount. I still like sometimes I would try to bear the pain. Like that's just one thing about me. I'm a high tolerance of pain. You know, I just try to bear the pain so my body can kind of cope with it. So I won't be relying on medicine all the time. That's just me. I feel like that's better. You know, but hey, to each his own. I'm gonna continue doing it that way. That's just me. So but I had to give you guys this story, and I had to give you guys this story before I did my labor and delivery video because I definitely going to do a labor and delivery video. But I wanted you guys to know my experience with my last pregnancy because I know I'm going to be emotional with this one in labor and delivery, and I want you guys to be able to understand why. You see what I'm saying? Because every time, that's the thing about it, when I'm not pregnant, I'm not that emotional. I hold a lot of stuff in a little bit, and my husband hates that, but he helps me work through that. But when I'm pregnant, I cannot hold my emotions in. Like I just cry all the time. Like I just do. I don't know why. But hey, he's my husband made me more comfortable with it. Like it's okay to do that. It's okay to cry. It's okay to get it out. Like get it out. Don't hold it in. So that's what I'm, you know, trying to get better at. But like I say, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Please comment down below what video y'all would like for me to do next. I'm sorry I'm not doing too much moving, baby girl. She's asleep. See, this how big my stomach is now. But yeah, she's asleep right now. This is the only time I can really get videos in when she's sleeping. The kids is in their room playing. You know, with no interruptions. I can get the video done, edit, and get it out for you guys. But the people that have subscribed, I want to thank you so much for your support. Um, I will get better in posting videos. Like I say, all I got is my phone right now, so I don't have too much storage to be able to record too much, you know. But I will get a camera soon. God will bless us to where we'll be able to do multiple things better, you know. Um, hey, y'all make sure y'all check out our family page also. It's FBK Family or whatever, and we do fun, brilliance, and kindness videos. So we do like challenges. We want to start doing little pranks, you know what I'm saying? But we'll start doing different little things, you know. But make sure you like and comment, and make sure you like and subscribe on that page also. But yeah, we do different little family activities and stuff like that. So definitely check that page out. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video. Make sure you like and comment below. And thank you so much, y'all. Bye.